Keep 'em coming, barkeep.
Hey, Belle, don't you think that enough?
Do you know which film I just had to sit through? Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here, and did anyone ask for a Space Chimps 2? Anyone? No? Then why do we have one? The first Space Chimps is just a generic talking animal comedy set in space. Sure, it wasn't any kind of box office bomb, but it also wasn't a groundbreaking success that was crying out for a follow-up. So again, why does this exist? In Space Chimps 2, Techno-Whiz Comet sneaks onto a rocket and accidentally launches it into space. He decides to drive it to the planet of Malgore and meet his alien friend Kilowatt. Meanwhile, Zartog, the antagonist from the first film, has ended up on Earth and wants to get his revenge on the Space Chimps. He strikes back by breaking into the NASA Space Center, steals a dematerializer from Mission Control, then demands to meet Ham and the other Space Chimps. But the Chimps have no idea what's going on. It's up to Ham, Luna and Titan to get Comet home and take down the evil Zartog. Space Chimps 2 has barely anything to offer, relying on the overdone cliché sequel premise of let's bring the villain from the first film back and do the same formula all over again. Nothing even happens in this film, literally nothing. There's no sense of urgency and most of the movie is made up of characters screwing around. Comet and Kilowatt messing about on planet Malgore, Ham and Luna whizzing around on jetpacks, and Zartog himself pissing around in the space center. Annoyingly, Zartog's revenge is being stalled because for some reason, the humans can't understand his language, yet the Chimps can read Zartog's alien speak clear as day. So until the Chimps can come to the rescue, Zartog just spends the whole movie miscommunicating with Mission Control. Keep in mind too, this is a 76-minute movie and the Chimps don't go after Zartog until 45 minutes in. I'm not exaggerating that, I saw the time code. Anything is more exciting than watching this movie. Heck, watching grass grow has more entertainment value than this film. Wow! This film exhibits some of the worst animation storytelling I've ever seen, not just by taking eons to finally reach any kind of conflict, but by also contriving situations to the 10th degree. Let me explain. First of all, the NASA rocket sets off by accident because it's voice activated, and mistakes Comet's chitter-chatter as command to blast off. Since when are rockets voice activated? The reason they're not is so shit like this doesn't happen. Characters present in the Space Center are made to behave incredibly incompetent, just so it's super easy for Zartog to get inside and start his revenge. Oh, and to hint Zartog's weakness, we see that Comet's foam makes Zartog's race act all goofy. There's suggestive foreshadowing, and then there's giving away the film's conclusion in a gift wrap box. Now, apparently this movie is a comedy? Which is news to me, because receiving a letter stating that I have 2 days to live would be hilarious compared to this film. It tries so hard to make us laugh, but I was completely deadpan throughout the whole film. Even some of the worst comedies I've seen managed to get at least a guilty chuckle out of me. Space Chimps 2 is so unfunny that after every terrible joke, all the tumbleweed in the world blows by the screen. The first Space Chimps didn't exactly set a high pedestal for this film to climb, but if you're going to make a sequel to a mediocre film, then at least improve on it. Because Space Chimps 2 does the complete opposite, it makes something worse! I'm going to give 0 points to the content. Comet was a character I actually forgot was in the first film, yet the sequel wants to make him the lead hero, which doesn't work at all. Comet was designed to be the Techno-Whiz supporting character, not another Ham. He's not even an interesting character. His only personality trait is being nice. Ham hasn't changed since the last film. He's his usual obnoxiously arrogant self, and there's still nothing charming about his cocky antics. It's also confusing why he's still performing for the circus, even though he's now a successful astronaut. Makes very little sense. Luna is also still the token girl chimp, limited to playing straight against Ham's stupid tomfoolery. At least in the first film, Luna exhibited a passion for space travel. In this sequel, she's just there to point out how annoying and stupid Ham is being, something that's more than obvious already. Titan is easily the worst written character in the film. He dangerously lets Zartog pass clearance through NASA just so Zartog can find it easier to start his revenge arc. The film explains that Titan is acting irrationally in this sequel because he was so traumatized by what happened in the last film, which I don't buy at all. Especially because Titan very easily snaps out of this state as soon as the other chimps tell him what he's done. Movie, post-traumatic stress disorder doesn't work like that. It can take months or even years to recover from it. It's bad enough that you turned a mental illness into a tasteless, unfunny joke, but you fail to portray it realistically just to contrive your story. Go shove a banana up your arse. Zartog is a rubbish comedic villain, spending most of the movie misunderstanding human culture and pointlessly wasting time communicating with the humans, even though it's clear that there's no way they'll ever understand him. Kilowatt is kind of cute, and her close friendship with Comet is a little sweet, but her constant screaming, childish noise-making, and habit of glowing bright when scared makes her a tad annoying at times. I'm going to give 1 point to the characters. The animation for Space Chimps 2 isn't anything special. It's not even a big step up from the first film. Once again, it's too subpar to carry off the cartoony energy that the comedy calls for. It's like the director had very little to inspire animators behind the scenes.
Okay, sir, so how are we going to go about with this scene? What kind of emotions do you want to create? What kind of mood do you want to set?
Can you make the character move?
Yes?
Can you make the character move a lot?
Yes, but...
Fantastic! Do that!
Are you sure that you don't want to give me any other directions?
Make the characters move! A lot! Great character animation is more than just movement. It's a demonstration of authenticity, personality, and life. I'm not going to find an animated character funny just because they move. There needs to be some relatable truth to their body language and expressions to help me see the humor in their emotions. Oh, and this shot of Zartog being hit by a car is just dreadful. It's like the physics were orchestrated by someone using 3D software for the first time. I'm going to give 0 points to the animation. Zach Sharder voices Comet. It's bad enough that Comet is dull as dishwater as a character, but Sharder gives him this vanilla voiceover that any young male American voice actor could do.
If Zartog's got some sort of departicleizer, I could lose my friends forever. Ham, Luna, Titan, Houston, everybody.
Tom Kenny of SpongeBob SquarePants fame voices Ham. You know how SpongeBob can be charmingly annoying in a cute way? Well, imagine draining all that charm from SpongeBob with only the annoying left. That's Kenny's performance as Ham.
Let me run a couple of things by you, baby. I was figuring I'd give her a little bit of this. Wow! And then cap it off with a little, ow! Moonwalking. Moonwalking. Huh. Pretty good, right?
Did you lose some brain cells when we crash landed?
Cheryl Hines voices Luna. She's okay, but she doesn't really have much to say, as she's just playing the token girl chimp.
You should be studying for the mission.
If I studied now, I'd just forget everything anyway. Besides, I don't need to study. I have you.
Oh, you do you?
Patrick Warburton voices Titan, and once again his distinct, awesome voice is wasted. He reads his lines fine, but he has nothing funny to say.
What's the plan?
Shouldn't the commander technically come up with the plan?
The commander who let Zartog take over?
Yes, but if I hadn't let Zartog take over, then we wouldn't need the aforementioned plan, so I was responsible for creating the demand for a plan that, combined with my seniority and my chiseled, heroic looks, means that I am in charge, so I get to make the plan.
John DiMaggio voices Zartog, and somehow this film made the guy behind Bender from Futurama sound astoundingly unfunny and unentertaining. How is that even possible? He's not even in his A game. You'd be surprised to know that such a talented voice act was behind this character's voice. Even Jeff Daniels managed to add at least something to his take on Zartog in the first film.
Behold the power of Zartog! I said, behold my power, stupid mutt.
Laura Bailey voices Kilowatt. She sounds kind of cute, but like I said, her character can be annoying, and Bailey's high-pitched delivery doesn't help.
Yowzers, Comet, it's you! Wait, but I thought you said you weren't coming.
I blasted off by mistake, but I made it. On my own.
You are here! This is wonderful! Welcome to Malgore and to the village of Kilowalla Wazawahui!
I'm going to give 1 point to the voice acting. For some strange reason, most scenes in this film are backed with no music at all. This makes the failed comedy even more difficult to stomach because there's literally silence and thin air following every joke. Even when music is included, it's either fluffy pop or generic rock, contributing hardly anything to the film's moods or emotions. Remember that I said that the film lacks urgency and characters waste their time messing about? Well, the music also often adds to this lack of tension. When a scene is supposed to hint some kind of peril, it has unfitting, relaxed or bland pop music playing in the background. I'm going to give 0 points to the music. To conclude, Space Chimps 2 Zartog Strikes Back is one of the worst animated sequels I've ever seen, and keep in mind, I've seen all of the straight-to-video Disney sequels. It's incapable of being funny, it stars annoying and boring characters, and nothing happens. This has to be one of the most paper-thin films ever made. It's a stale waste of time that proves that the first film wasn't good enough to inspire a sequel in the first place. But apparently this movie was released in 3D. Its tagline is "Go Bananas in 3D." So maybe if I put on some 3D glasses, I'll get a better movie experience. No, it's still shit. The only difference now is that things are being poked into my eyes. Space Chimps 2 has gained a total of 2 points, which translates to a quarter of a banana strawberry out of 5. If you enjoyed the painful feeling of being anally probed by space aliens, you're going to love Space Chimps 2. I've been Jambareeqi and I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you did, then please consider supporting me on my Patreon. With enough sponsors on my Patreon, I could start making episodes of Jambareeqi reviews every single week, which would be so cool. I also encourage you to head over to my official website jambareeqi.com, where you can read written reviews of films I've not talked about on this channel. So, what am I going to be reviewing for the next episode of Jambareeqi Reviews? Well, that's entirely up to you guys. The next episode of Jambareeqi Reviews will be decided through a poll that I've linked in the description box below. Very excited to find out what I'll be doing next. Cheerio, folks.